In today's episode of Systeme.io Success Stories, we're going to be interviewing an online entrepreneur who runs a successful membership with hundreds of paying members. But that's not all he does. He's also able to live off of affiliate marketing internationally, traveling and being a digital nomad while helping take away the tech overwhelm for online businesses by helping them start, grow, and scale their businesses with efficient systems, all while providing tutorials on his YouTube channel for Systeme.io. And with that, here is our guest, Eran Bucai from .com Truth. I'm so excited to have you here. And already we were chatting before we got started, and I can't wait to dive into some of those secrets. But before we get to the whole how we met 2 years ago, can you kind of let us know what led you on this digital journey, which now you're a digital nomad living in around the world? So
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah, yeah. Totally, totally. Yeah, I'm in Bali at the moment. I've been nomadic for 3+ years now. I was in Australia before that. And yeah, it's been, I've been in the entrepreneurial space running my own business for 5+ years. And there was a point that I was like, I kind of felt like my income was at a stage where I'm comfortable. My business is stable enough that I can go and venture to other countries without being kind of scared, like, is the income going to stop or whatever. Like, I had enough recurring slash passive income that I was like, yep, I'm feeling safe. And yeah, so I took the plunge, moved to Dubai first, and that was about 3+ years ago. And which is actually coincident to when I signed up with System as well. I was already making money online, but then that happens to be similar timing to when I also started using System.
Oh, that's really interesting. Okay. So
Yeah,
let's unpack some of those, because what you're saying is 5 years ago, you had already built a successful digital business that allowed you the luxury of being able to travel, because
yeah,
that's what it is. And so you were using programs before. You don't have to really speak into that. Can you speak into why even doing an online business and using that digital platforms to create that freedom? Like, why not just get a 9 to 5? Like, what was the catalyst
yeah.
that led you to that?
Yeah. In reality, I think that a lot of people are like, I'm stuck in a 9 to 5. I want to get out. I actually was a little bit different when I first got started. I did a lot of volunteer work most of my life until I was 30. And then I was looking to go and start a new life, basically, in corporate world or whatever. I just needed a way to make money. But because I never went to high school, and so I had no certificates, no papers for anything, and so on. All of a sudden, I'm 30, almost 31, and I'm applying for jobs, and they're like looking at me like, you don't qualify for anything, basically, because you have no experience. And so I ended up, at the time I was on the unemployment benefits, and I was, using internet in cafes and McDonald's, basically, using their free Wi-Fi. And I was just figuring out how to make money, basically. And I just stumbled across start an online business with no money down. And that was kind of the catchphrase that I came across in some ad. I was actually reading all about real estate because I thought, okay, people with property make money. So that's what I was actually reading online. And I came across an ad, and it just led me down the rabbit hole. And it was really pure survival at the time. It was not like, I've never heard of the word entrepreneur. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so entrepreneurial. I didn't even know what that word means. I just know I needed to figure out a way to make a living. And that's kind of what led me to it. And yeah, I'm glad it did, as opposed to finding a job. It was a blessing in disguise, obviously. Yeah, so that's kind of how it happened. That was actually 7+ years ago.
All right, 7+ years ago. Well, I love
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
mentioned that, because some people, they see that, they see the allure of it. No money down. Making income from your living room, from an internet cafe in a McDonald's. Yet they don't actually pull the trigger and make those things happen. So within 2 years, 2.5 years, you had already created what you said earlier, passive recurring income that was predictable and safe,
yeah,
allowing you to be able to travel. And so,
yeah,
again, not stepping into what perhaps that was, but like, what systems from those first 2 years do you created that security? And also, I'd like to talk about the mindset a little bit of like, what flipped for you to say, I got to do this? Was it a all or
yeah,
nothing? Like, I have no other choices. Might as well go all in. Like, what
yeah.
helped you punch fear in the face?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely I had no other choice. Like you gotta make money somehow. You gotta survive. So it really boiled down to that. There was no like magical aspirations per se. It was just literally, I needed a way to make a living. And, because corporate slash jobs obviously were just not an option, I just went down a different path. Now, the thing is about the beginning stages and the security. I'll give you a very unsexy answer because a lot of people are thinking about passive income and digital products and how wonderful it is. And that's just such a joke at the beginning. It really is a joke because for you to sell digital products, for you to digitize, for you to create systems and automate things, you have to have an expertise or a skill. Like you gotta be exceptionally good at something to one degree or another. I mean, if you were to look at levels 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, I mean, it's not like you have to be at 100, but you gotta have some skills that people are willing to like pick your brain about, right? And if they're not willing to pick your brain, they're not willing to pay for you because you're not good enough at a specific skill, you've got nothing to sell. So the first stage is really being a service provider and picking up some skill. And I love podcasts like this because an example of a skill that somebody not even realize is running a podcast. Yeah. Like, yes, we are in an interview right now. We're having a conversation over a software called Riverside.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Somebody might listen to this and be like, what the hell is Riverside? That's the point, right? They're not an expert. They don't know anything about it. But you know what Riverside is. You know how to set up permissions for the video and the audio and, and set up the screen and then the background and the backdrop. And then how do you find guests and how do you onboard and how do you qualify and all those things. These are things that somebody who is at the beginning stages, they know nothing. Somebody who's doing a podcast or a summit or something, that in itself is some sort of a skill. And I think focusing on a skill, it really doesn't matter which one. That's really the priority. And I just happened to start with funnel building. That was just my route that I picked, was funnel building / website building. And that was my beginning journey, is to do that using no code tools, basically. I'm not a developer, not a coder, but using drag and drop similar to Systeme.io. And that was really the beginning for me. That's how I upskilled from there. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I want to highlight the fact that with your membership program, and I jumped into your Facebook group so I can, check it out, do my research.
Yeah.
You have such an amazing support staff and setup and operations, your own onboarding systems where you genuinely care to help. Well, and my favorite saying is fan the flame. You see a skill set that someone has, whether it's doing a podcast or doing a YouTube channel, maybe they're a cook or a realtor, but you help them take that skill set, that knowledge, even if they're only 2 or 3 steps ahead of the next person, and turn it into something online with the skill set you have and really uplifting them. And so, and you said you went into funnel building. So could you, where did you learn that? Did you learn that with the nonprofit work and the volunteer work? Or did you say, okay, well, I'm going to figure this out. And once I figure it out, I'll teach the next person,
Yeah, totally. Great question. So really, I started, if I was to give you like a bit of a journey. So let's say 2017, late 2016, quit the nonprofit / volunteer work. I did about a year and a half, about 6 months. It was just like learning, I learned about affiliate marketing. I learned about funnels. I learned about webinars. I've learned all these terms which I've never heard of in my life because I was never privy to any of that. I didn't really have much internet access. I didn't have a phone. I didn't have a computer. Like it was just I was never aware of those things. So it was 6 months of just like being a sponge, really.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I registered to a webinar and I got the automated email and I was like, oh my God, somebody's emailed me. This is amazing. And I was replying to every email I received, every automated email. I replied to every single one, hey, thanks for emailing me. Because I actually thought it was a real person. Because how are you supposed to know? You know what I mean? Nope. Anyways, it's kind of funny. Looking back, I remember looking at my inbox at the very beginning. It's so funny. I replied to 10 autoresponders from the same person. The poor guy must be like, dude, you really don't have to reply to every single one of them. Anyway, little side note. But that was about the first 6 months. And then I learned about affiliate marketing. And then I really was doing affiliate marketing for a high ticket coaching company for a year and a half. And that's what I was doing. And I was making money with them, but they were a bit pyramidish. They got shut down by the FTC for income claims and all that stuff. So I was back down to zero, and I happened to get a 9 to 5 job. So this was middle of 2018. It was a sales position. And while I was in that sales position, because now I had work experience all of a sudden, then I was side hustling and trying to figure out how to make money. And one of those attempts was drop shipping. And so I learned how to use Shopify, basically. And based on that, after I failed miserably with drop shipping and various other things, somebody asked me, hey, do you know anybody who needs a Shopify store or knows how to build a Shopify store? And I said, I'm willing to give it a go. And that was my first client. I made $200 from building a Shopify store. I did a second Shopify store. And then when I was thinking about affiliate marketing and, everything I learned about funnels, and I just thought the affiliate program of funnel software is so much better than Shopify that if I want to make money as a service provider and build passive income streams, it's much better for me to focus on funnels. And that's how I just started, learning and doing it by experience, basically.
I love that. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And so every job, and I feel like a lot of the things that we have touched on even before this conversation started being recorded to now is not allowing any of your lack of knowledge, fear, or not having the ability or access to. You said you didn't have a phone. You were in internet cafes.
No.
You didn't have any experience prior to, but you became a sponge. You sucked it, you were able to get all this information. And then even though that company, you said that high ticket sales environment, it crashed and burned or whatever.
Yeah.
They ended up, going out of business. You didn't take that as, okay, I can't continue. I'm going to take what I learned from that and keep moving forward, which is really awesome. And then, so with affiliate marketing, let's talk about, did you use funnels that led people to your affiliate links, like in that software kind of way? Or were you selling the affiliates for the affiliate funnel programs like Systeme.io? Yeah, it's a funnel program.
Yeah.
I know there's competitors out
Yeah.
there. And so were you
Yeah.
using funnels leading to that?
Yeah, great question. So what I did when I transitioned to funnels, I was really focusing on helping people in Facebook groups and just adding value for free.
Yep.
Have them reach out to me to be able to, potentially work with them. And I was basically pitching my services as a software consultant type thing to choose the best software and which one to use. And so then I was recommending various software options, depending on what was available from all the various competitors. And I don't even think I knew about Systeme at that time when I first got started. And so I was just recommending different things that I was getting myself familiar with. I signed up for a free trial with a lot of them, and I just got familiar with them. So when I do consultations, I can advise. Now, when they would then sign up for it, I would say, and then they would also say, do you actually help? And I said, yes. And then I would then build it as well. So I'll make money on the affiliate sale, but then I would also do a done for you service. And then I would build websites/funnels. And that's what I did. And that was really the first, probably 8 months to a year was literally just software consults done for you, software consults done for you. And the software consult was like the lead magnet, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And everything ran through my Facebook profile and engaging in other people's Facebook group. And that was the extent of my marketing strategy and the sales strategy as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I think prior to 2020, that was an actual reputable way of finding people, is going into those groups and trusting people. But then I feel like 2020 changed the game because everyone started getting onto the online business, and Zoom became a household name. So a lot of people are more aware, like they have some kind of brand awareness. Maybe they don't have a full understanding, but it really changed the game up. So Systeme.io came out in 2018, and that's about the time that you started this, business. And so you were using all these other tools, doing the consulting, but again, you said that within just 2.5 years, you were able to create recurring income. And so you're saying you had safe recurring income from the consults and the done for you services that you were able to start traveling?
Yeah. So what I did is, first of all, when that company got shut down, because I invested my own, I borrowed money to invest in a company
Mm.
and their high ticket mastermind and all that. So when they got shut down, I had 55K debt as well as a result of that whole thing. So the first year, all I did is I paid the debt off,
Mhm.
basically. And that's all I did. So I got myself zeroed out within about 8 to 9 months. I basically zeroed out that debt. So that was phase number one. Phase number two was about 4 months into it. I got a little bit of savings, and then I invested in like buying a new laptop for $4,000. Like I got a chair, I got a desktop monitor, I invested in the business a little bit and
Mhm.
things along these lines. So that was kind of the next phase. And then the passive income was always growing because I was always making affiliate sales on various software. So that was always, and it's recurring. That's the beauty. Just like Systeme.io, in case people don't realize, like softwares like Systeme.io pay not whatever the percentage is, whether it's 30, 40, 50, 60, in Systeme.io it's 60, which is crazy. Whatever the percentage is, you get paid on the first month, the second month, and it keeps going forever as long as somebody remains a customer.
Mhm.
Now, imagine that you are building someone's website like I did, and they've invested $1,000 to get that website built, or $1,500. What is the chance, after the project is done, they're happy with the website, what is the chance of them canceling that subscription? It's very low. And
Mhm.
so if that software company has a recurring lifetime affiliate commission, which not all of them do, then you will continue to get paid as long as they have a website. And so that was really the model. In terms of passive income, by the time the first year was finished, where I paid off the debt and everything, I was around the $1,500 in recurring revenue, about
Mhm.
1,500, right? Which at the time my overhead was very low, and that was actually enough to live off for me, basically. So, which was great, but I was still making obviously the bigger money on the front end of building websites, basically. And that was the model. And then I spent the next year just saving money. And then, about July 2020, if I remember correctly, I paid off the debt. November 2022, I bought a house,
Wow.
basically, in Australia. 2022? I think so. Maybe it was 2021. One or the other, I have to remember, but somewhere around there. It was about a year later. Maybe a year and 4 months after I paid off the debt, I then bought a house in Australia. It was my first house and my first apartment. And yeah, and then I lived in the house for 10 months, and then I bounced to go be a digital nomad, and then turned it up, left the house as an investment property. And that
Oh,
was kind of the journey.
well, look
Yeah.
at that. Now you're diversifying. I love that.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
So you got
Exactly.
back into real estate, so because you
That's
started.
right. I did full circle. Exactly. Exactly.
Look at that. So what started off is I've got to find some kind of way. Investment properties is the way to go. Helping. I know it makes money. Well, let me figure out how to create that capital. And you did, and you made it happen.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I know that may have been a long about, way to get there for anyone who's listening. But what I really wanted y'all to hear is that he didn't let the situation or the circumstances stop him from progressing forward. And you learned from that and turned what a lot of people look at as, a magic kind of situation with online business. I feel like there's still so much mystery wrapped in. And if you don't know it, you really don't understand it. For example, I had to explain to someone I was doing a radio show with you this evening because they didn't understand a podcast. So there's still
Yeah.
so much mystery still wrapped all around it. So I'd love to know
Yeah.
at what point, right? So now you bought a house and now it's a real estate investment property. When does Systeme.io come into this and now become the holy grail of all of your software programs?
Yeah. 100%. It was really interesting because remember my funnel was all about software consulting. Like, I'm going to help you choose the best one, right? And that was the legion at the time. And that was the legion for a long time. And that's actually how I built my audience, and that's how I built trust and da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to get to the stage where I'm like, may just use Systeme.io, like that that's like it was a big step for me. It took me probably about 3-4 months of due diligence of testing things out before I went public and kind of announced like I'm using Systeme.io now, and kind of can that entire lead gen messaging, because that it changed my messaging completely actually.
Yeah, I saw
Now,
it. You can see it on your YouTube. You can see,
yeah,
because I do. I look at the oldest to the newest and I go back and forth and look at the most popular. You can see that shift, which is why I'm really
yeah,
excited to see how it became
yeah,
the secret ingredient. And you did your due
totally,
diligence. I love that.
totally. So this was, let me just give you context on timing. 2021, yeah, I remember the dates now. 2021 November is when I bought the house. 2021 April is when I launched a membership. Now, the reason I launched a membership is because in the beginning, in December 2020, I launched a new service, which was a freelance service, which blew up in my business. Like it did really, really well. And the service was really unique. I was building people's funnels, but I was doing it instead of a done for you. I would build it on Zoom. I will literally hop on a Zoom call. I will share my screen and I will build people's funnels while they're watching. They're literally live with me and they're just watching me build. And I was on Zoom calls morning to night
Wow.
with people for like 4 months. Like every day, morning to night, I had so many clients. And they would buy anywhere between 1 to 8 sessions with me, and I will build their funnel. And they would just be there and be with me. Sometimes they would be interactive. Sometimes they would just be there doing their dishes, whatever. But they were there with me.
That's
And
crazy.
so they were learning at the same time. That service blew up. Like it did really well. And so literally by March 2021, I was like, I literally have no more hours in the day to sell. There was just nothing left. And I was like, and then the other problem that came about from that particular service is because I'm building their funnels and they are learning, but they still have questions later. But I had no way to support them unless they pay for a one-on-one, another one. And so what I did is I launched a follow-up tech support membership where they could still ask me questions later and I would answer them in under 24 hours in an email or a video reply or whatever. And so that's when I launched a membership. And at the time I was using competitors for the business, for the funnels, for the membership and all that. And then 7 months later, that's when I bought the house. And then I still kept the membership going, but at some point, the software that I was using for my membership, I really wanted to launch an affiliate program. And their affiliate program, their tracking, their system, their thing was just poor, basically, which led me to researching alternatives for my membership business, basically. And so I was looking at 2 different options. Systeme.io was one of them. I actually ended up getting both of them, but ultimately, once I started looking into Systeme.io, even though it was the affiliate program that led me there, then I started using everything else and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? It's just so much better. And also, I'll tell you another caveat, which is really important for people to know with affiliate marketing. The competitors are more expensive, but you got to understand something. It's not just more expensive for you, it's more expensive for your referrals. And if you've been in the affiliate marketing game long enough, like I have, then when you have an expensive software, the churn rate, meaning, yes, you can get referrals, but then the cancellation rate because of the price is high. So you might be making more money from the affiliate program, which is more expensive and you make more money. And Systeme.io is so much cheaper and so you don't make much money. But your referrals actually end up sticking way longer and don't cancel because the price is unbeatable. And so I saw that shift in the market as well, where yes, I might make less money on the affiliate side at first, but in reality, in the long run, I will create a stronger and more solid income stream with the affiliate income of Systeme.io.
Yeah. I think that's one of the caveats that I love about Systeme.io, that even I am thinking about shifting my entire business over there. Every one of these podcast episodes, anyone listening, if you're not familiar with it, this is a great way for you to hear. It's just phenomenal. I am in love with the product and I can see that you are too. And so once you saw that just with affiliate, what attracted me was funnels. That's how I found Systeme.io years ago. But now you use all of the tools, every single
Yeah.
one of them. And so how did your membership shift, from like doing those live Zooms and the memberships, and like what do you offer within it now?
Yeah. So my membership was really simple to deliver because basically it was a tech support membership where somebody can send me an email with a question or send message on Messenger with a question, and I will give them an answer or a tech solution within 24 hours. And I would do that not live, but I would do it through an email or a video. A lot of times I've recorded video tutorial, especially for them. But instead of saying, hey, Holly, thanks for your question about blah, blah, blah. Let's say your question was how to change the color of a button. Let's just say, right? So instead of saying, hey, Holly, thanks for your question, I would say, in today's tech tutorial, I'm going to show you how to change the color of a button. So in this example, I'm going to share my screen. You see the button is black and we want to change it to blue. And also we want to have it so when you hover over it, the actual color automatically shifts to red and slides to the right. So it gives like a really cool hover animation. So this is how you do it. And then I will actually do a tutorial, and then I will send a video link straight away to the customer who asked the question, so they get an answer instantly. And then I would then, keep all that content and then start uploading it slowly but surely to my YouTube channel. And that's how I built my YouTube channel as well. To the point where I started running out of questions to answer. So then all the questions that I'm getting, I'm like, oh yeah, here's the video. Okay, yeah, here's the video. Okay, here's the video. Okay, here's the video. And then I was like, wow, this is great, which I talk about that. It's called an expert Q&A membership. It's a really amazing business model, and that's what it transitioned to, basically, a year down the track.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so, again, you learned a little bit, you shifted and pivot, learn, shift, pivot. But all along the way, you're still building this digital business. You now have, your website on Systeme.io. You have an affiliate marketing program. Do you also host your entire community there, or is it in the Facebook group? Like, I'm interested to hear about the membership specifically, because that was what you had in here, successful memberships. And
Yeah.
like, how is the community inside of Systeme.io? Like, how does it flow? Do you connect it with the courses or anything like that? Or is that separate? Or like, do you have multiple businesses or like kind of streams in a sense of, I always say there's a wheel and you have spokes going out from it. Like, how many spokes
Yeah.
do you have? Like, I'm excited. I want all the details.
Yeah, totally. So, number one, I have probably about 10 different domains or subdomains in Systeme.io that I actively use for various types of funnels. So, for example, my brand.com truths, I use a subdomain called services.com truths for all my service providing, virtual assistant, agency related work, because that's obviously what I do. Workshop.comtruths.com is all my digital courses, my workshops. I've got 20 plus courses. So all of those are all in there. Landing page in a day, email sequence in a day, thank you page in a day, lead magnet in a day, YouTube SEO, how to rank on page 1, Facebook organic mini course, service provider and coach roadmap course, affiliate marketer roadmap course. I've got like a lot of courses on different topics on things that I do. So that's all on that domain, workshops.com truths. The private members area, all my courses, not the funnel up front, but the back end where they access the courses, it's all in member.comtruths.com. So I have various subdomains and domains for different things that I use basically. So that's number one in terms of categorization, organization. I have a blog, so .comtruthsblog.com. That's my blog on Systeme.io. I also have an affiliate blog, so it's called Affiliate Startup Community. That's the blog for all my affiliate business, basically. So I use the blog feature for Systeme.io for obviously lead generation, content, email nurturing, audience nurturing, and stuff like that. I use the affiliate marketing program, so for the affiliate tracking, and I have an affiliate page for that, partners.comtruths.com as well. So if somebody joins the affiliate program, they go through that page, they register. I have a course that teaches people how to be an affiliate marketer, and I have a course that teaches people how to do affiliate marketing for me specifically, 2 different courses. All of that is hosted in Systeme.io. And then you've got the email marketing, all the email automation. So in some cases, if somebody, for example, on Facebook ads, because I run Facebook ads now, they may go through the checkout process, but not actually end up buying. So I have that particular sales page. When they enter their email, they get added to a cart abandonment email sequence, which works in the background. And so that's also using Systeme.io. Of course, I have an email list of about 20,000 people at the time of recording. And so I email my list on a weekly basis as well. And in my membership/community, my business/membership is not very heavy on community. It's actually not. It's way more about just me and my team supporting people. Mm-hmm. And the reason, and this is not necessarily the way that it should be for everybody, but in my case, I don't need a bunch of confused people to advise other confused people about technology. That's just not what you want. And so it doesn't add a lot of value, and it actually adds more overwhelm. So I am very strict. Like I have a moderator in my Facebook group where I'm like, I don't want your advice. Like that's not, because people are going to give, sometimes I do want the advice, but sometimes I see the advice and I'm like, no, that's the wrong advice. Delete. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I'm very protective, you know, and that has its pros and cons, by the way. Sometimes people are very free flowing in community engagement and support, and that's okay. Just in my personal brand and business, it's just not the strength. I have 2 free Facebook groups. One is general.com truths for pretty much everybody. And I have a Systeme.io tech tutorials Facebook group. That particular group, for example, is where I have a moderator. And the goal of that group is to give people who cannot afford my membership even to be able to get tech support. And in that group, I forbid people from pitching and DMing people, basically. Mm-hmm. So there's not going to be any funnel builders there who are allowed to say, yes, I can help you with this. Like, mm-hmm. You're just not allowed. And somebody's not allowed to post, I'm looking to hire, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Like, it's just not allowed. You can post a tech challenge and we will give you a solution or a tutorial to that challenge as to the best of our ability. And I have a person that actually is paid to help people for free. So that's an example. That's a free community. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's a lead generation thing as well. But it is a free community that I offer. And for my paid members, we host 5 group calls per week. So they actually hop on a Zoom call and get help. And they can also book a one-on-one if they need extra help as well.
Yeah. That's phenomenal. I'm inside of that system tutorial one. And I do find that it is question and answer, and very matter of fact. I actually love how black and white it is. But I could see after running, a large Facebook group where some people are like, oh, I just want to say what I want to say. But what you're trying to do is get rid of the ambience and the noise and the overwhelm specifically. Yeah. So let's just do what you got to do. And then you can move on and do your business, because I do feel like we can get to that analysis paralysis. So I understand. Yeah. And if anyone's looking, you need to go check it out. We'll have the links below. Well, I really appreciate what you're doing for the community and feeding into actually efficient, effective systems for people, eliminating the overwhelm. I have also worked with a lot of people, and I'm finding that a lot of the older generations are coming in. They have that expertise, that skill set, and they have the time and the margin to do it. And so Systeme.io has created this amazing tool, an all-in-one that has opened the arena for so many people to get started today, with their free program. And then, even their 3 tiers above it still isn't that, I would say, expensive comparatively speaking. No. And so with that being said, how have you been able to scale your digital nomad life, traveling around the world? And I heard a team. So you're actually paying people to continue this value exchange of allowing people to change their lives with their own digital business. Could you speak into some of those like revenue goals, and even it could be like a non-skill victory in the sense of the fact that you have a team, 2 or 3 people beneath you, or having the ability to not, worry about how you're going to get to that next adventure island experience. I'd love to hear how Systeme.io has changed that for you.
Totally. I think it's important to give context, and I would probably categorize the goals, the income goals for pretty much anybody listening and anybody who wants to start an online business. And I would categorize it in 3 stages. Stage number 1 is business expenses. You want to at least cover your business expenses so you're not losing money, because you're going to pay for software, you might pay for coaching, you might pay for, advertising or whatever. You want to at least cover those costs. The second phase is to have your personal and business expenses covered, meaning just like you're making a living from a 9 to 5 or whatever it is, you can make from your business enough to live on. The third phase is dreamland. That's where people talk about 10K months and 100K months and this and $1 million and blah, 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 blah. Forget all that stuff. Focus on goal number 1, business expenses, then personal/living expenses, making a full-time living. And then dreamland is whatever you want, right? Whatever the internet shouts at you, or however you want to look at that, right? And I think it's a much more, realistic approach. It's much more practical approach. Mm-hmm. And that was really my focus. When I said that I was making $1,500 or $1,600 in recurring/passive income from affiliate commissions, and this was about 4.5 years ago, give or take, that was my living expenses at the time, and business expenses. That was it. Nowadays, that's not the case. That goalpost has dramatically changed for various reasons. Number 1, remember when I said I kind of ran out of questions to answer? It's true. So then it becomes like, well, do I really have to go find that tutorial and send it to people? Like, it just becomes like, it's just so tedious. Why would I need to do that? So I hired a VA, and I ended up hiring a second VA. And also I was doing group calls. I added group calls, and I was like, I don't want to do the group calls anymore. So now I have a support team that does the group calls for all the tech support. So they host 5 group calls. I don't attend any of them. And so they do that because I don't need to, because my team, I've trained them to do it. So, I had my team now for over 2 years, probably close to 3 years now. I've got 2 full-time tech support staff, and they do number 1 support and one-on-one calls with my members, but they also do VA services for people that want done for you. So we do a hybrid of agency plus support. So I've got 2 full-time people for that. Because of my YouTube channel, and I do create a lot of video content, a lot of courses, I have one of the most extensive libraries about Systeme.io in my YouTube channel, hundreds of tutorials and courses and all that. I have a full-time video editor as well. So, so that's another team member. I have a part-time assistant who helps me in the Systeme.io Tech Tutorials Facebook group. And she's hired to moderate, find a question, answer, and she just logs in every day. And she alerts me when people self-promote or DM people or do all that stuff. So she's my gatekeeper / security guard for, for intruders, basically. And also supporting people with, help. And then I have an agency that does all my Facebook ads. So I don't do my own ads. They run all my ads. I still build my own funnels, but they do all my ads. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, and this is a change that I did about a year and a bit ago when I moved to Bali. I was nomadic. I mean, I traveled to Brazil and Spain and Portugal and Bulgaria and Albania, and I went all over the place for about a year and a bit. And I kind of wanted to take a break and, just do something different. I kind of got bored of just hopping around all the time. And then what I did is I actually moved to Bali to get really fit. And so I flew my friend from Australia, who's a personal trainer and nutritionist. And I basically paid him to come and live with me in Bali and train me full time. And so he cooks for me and he trains me at the gym, and he just helps me with all my health and fitness. He's like my personal assistant here in Bali. And so that's basically like 4 who are like basically full time. Okay. Video editor, 2 tech support, and a personal assistant for health and fitness. Mm-hmm. And then I have the agency part-time and another VA part-time for the Facebook group. And that's my team. That's how I run my business. That's how and so the overheads on all of that is obviously a lot higher as well. But that's okay. Instead of saving money and stashing money for real estate, I heavily invest in my business because I'm paying for ads and all of that. And all of that is covered by my membership, affiliate income, which is, Systeme.io, just to give you context about how crazy the Systeme.io affiliate program is. I make more from the Systeme.io affiliate program every month than what I used to in my 9-to-5 job.
Wow. And so that's people purchasing Systeme.io through your affiliate.
Software. Yes, that's right. Yeah. What I used to make in a 9-to-5 job, 40 hours a week sales job, which I freaking hated. I shouldn't say I hated it. I was it was a phase in my life, it was a stepping stone,
Yeah.
and I knew it was not going to be a long time, you know, and
Yep.
that's okay. You learn from that experience too.
Yep.
It was as good as a 9 to 5 job could be, I think, for me. But what I was making at the time, which was 3,900 Australian dollars after tax, about 2.5 US after tax. I make more than that in pure affiliate income. Yeah.
Okay. So you make more than 3,900 Australian dollars
Yeah.
just from affiliate income. And
Yeah.
that's
That's
not
just Systeme.io.
just for
Just
Systeme.io.
Systeme.io affiliate. I have affiliate from other things too.
Yeah. That's
That's
amazing.
only Systeme.io affiliates. Only.
Wow. And
Yeah.
so it really talks about the quantity of putting a value exchange out there. And I'm sure
Yeah.
people, again, you've built that, the like, the know, and the trust. And so people are going to buy from you because of that. And now they're saying today, again, the gurus, don't give free information out. Don't continue to educate. Don't teach them the how. But literally your entire YouTube is the how. You can tell
Yeah.
that your heart is
Literally.
so genuine that you
Yeah.
really want people to know this program and have that same freedom that you now have by building your online business.
Yeah. 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 And I think there's nothing wrong with the gurus saying whatever they want to say, but there's not one right way to build a
Yeah.
business. And to give context, I have no high ticket in my business at all. I have no high ticket coaching, no high ticket courses. So it's not like I'm making my money on the back end with some crazy priced coaching program or inner circle. I have nothing like that. And I choose to do it that way. And I think that's really important. And it doesn't mean that people who do high ticket are bad either. It's just,
Yes.
there's no one right way to do a business. It's just, it's a wild, wild west, and it's an open field, and you can get creative and figure out a way that works for you and aligns with your values.
Yes.
And for me, giving free value and not worrying about, am I teaching too much of the how? Like you said, like I couldn't care less about any of that advice. It just seems like ridiculous,
Exactly.
But I get it. I get it. It's okay. I get it.
Yeah. And so that's why we, choose the guru that we're going to follow, figuring out which direction we want to go and why
Yeah.
it's important to know values. And so I really appreciate everything that you've put out there. So as we come to the close, I have a few questions that I ask all our successful Systeme.io entrepreneurs. And so our first question, we're going to have 6. In one word, what does financial freedom mean to you?
Ability to help people without having to worry about how much money you make, but like being able to help people unconditionally. And then also, doing the thing that you're passionate about without having to worry about how you're going to live and things like that. So having that freedom, whether it's travel or freedom of time or freedom to start a family or whatever that freedom importance is to you. You know what I mean? I think whatever that aspiration is, some people it's like they just want to be at the beach and lie down and do nothing all day. That's okay too. Whatever that freedom looks like to you, I think that's what that means. Yeah.
I love that. So describe Systeme.io in just 3 words.
3 words. Affordable is absolutely number 1. I feel like saying all in one. That's 3 words right there. You know
All
what I mean?
in one.
How's that?
Yeah.
All in one.
All
There
in
you
one.
go.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. And what's one word? This might not be, you won't be able to do this. What's one word that gets people unstuck?
Oh. I don't want to use the word motivation because it's not what I mean. I more mean like from the other side, where it's not like you're motivated to do something, but it's like you don't, the pain of not wanting to experience something anymore. So I think pain is probably a stronger driver than motivation to a lot of, you know what I mean? The pain of being homeless, the pain of not being able to provide, the pain of not being able to say yes to your child when Christmas presents are due. or whatever that looks like. I think avoiding whatever that pain is for you, I think that's probably, that's where people are going to really do something.
Yes. I
Yeah.
know that. That's beautiful, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. All right. Transformation for you. Finish my sentence. Systeme.io gave you.
Good question. Systeme.io gave me um a, a, a reasonable and affordable, and practical solution to help people sell their information online. Is what it gave me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. We'll
Yeah.
stop with this one. One word of advice for someone who's still hesitating.
Get a skill. Get a skill. Forget Systeme.io even. I'm going to be
Yep.
totally blunt. It's not about Systeme.io. Systeme.io is a tool. It's an amazing tool. I think it's the most, it's not even to say it's the best tool out there. It's not so much also about the best, because best is very subjective, right? But there is different aspects where you got to understand how software companies get built. And a lot of software companies have investors and board of directors and profit shares and physical offices and overheads. The reason Systeme.io doesn't have any of that stuff and why it's so affordable is because it doesn't have any of that garbage. They have one boss, one owner who's make the decision, and he's a good dude to make those decisions. And that's why one of the reasons I love Systeme.io the most, right?
Yeah.
And I know Aurelian personally, and yeah, and I am betting on Systeme.io to continue to be a market leader because of how he operates. And I say that because I see other companies that are got investors and VCs, venture capital, and how they operate. And I'm like, man, I don't want to associate you with that, because that's just a recipe for disaster for us solopreneurs. It's such a non-solopreneur friendly way of operating. And Aurelian, even though he's an entrepreneur, he's a solopreneur at heart. And that's what I love about that, having him as an owner. And so, but again, it's still a tool. It's still a tool. And so my advice is, get a skill, whatever that skill is. And that skill could be acquired in a day. It doesn't have to be a crazy skill, a tiny skill. You can learn how to create a video with running text on Canva in a matter of 2-3 hours. It's so crazy how simple you can learn skills, digital skills. And it's all you got to figure out. Figure out a skill and then keep on up-leveling that by trying to sell that skill to people and offering that skill. And I think that's probably the best word of advice that I have, and focus on selling that skill. Everything else will come and follow if you just focus on providing it, and that's it.
That's amazing. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And your story speaks into that, and how you just keep learning, keep growing, and keep giving value. And so, speaking of value, how can people connect with you after this interview? How can they find you? How can they get that one-to-one? How can we connect?
Yeah, definitely. Probably the easiest thing is, obviously, if you're a Systeme.io user, just join my Systeme.io Facebook group. It's probably the easiest way. Systeme.io tech tutorials, I'm sure it'll be linked. It's probably the best place if you're using Systeme.io. Secondly, I am very accessible on Instagram and Facebook Messenger and my email. So, if you send me an email, eranbucai@gmail.com, I am very responsive. And if you have a question for me personally as well, you just want to reach out to me. If you have a question form where people just ask me a question and I will reply in a timely manner. And it's just a simple submission form hosted on Systeme.io. Basically, if they go to eran.link/ask, and it will basically take them to a simple squeeze page in Systeme.io. They enter their name and email. I'll give you a little secret here, a little secret about the Systeme.io automation, a little hack. So it's basically a squeeze page. They send their name, their email, their question. That particular formula comes to me using the substitute variable feature in Systeme.io, which not many people know. I get that email automated with the question. Now, in case they are in my paid membership, then I have a filter under workflows that sends that same question to my virtual assistants to say, hey, one of our paid members asked a question, get back to them right away.
Wow.
So then my VA gets their question to get help, basically. I get the email notification when they ask a question. And all the information is populated into a spreadsheet, a Google Sheet, using all the Systeme.io automations with the name, the email, the question. My VAs have access to the grid. So when they answer the question, they can populate the answer to the question in the grid. And we have a running spreadsheet on that question. And this whole thing
That's
is
amazing.
all set up in Systeme.io. Yeah. And just like the amount of automations I have like this is insane. I should really write a little ebook or a guide because I probably have 50 different clever things like
Yeah.
that is so. And my welcome email to people, depending on if they're a paid member or a new member, if they're not tagged on my list yet, that means they've never joined my list. So if they're a new person, I have a different workflow on the email reply, depending on, so if you send me that Eran.link/chat, send me any question, feedback, say hello, you will get a customized email depending on who you are as well. So, but you
Wow.
wouldn't know that, but I'm spilling the beans a little bit.
Oh, y'all. Now you definitely have to go check him out and ask him the questions and be like, hey, give me the deets on this filterization and
Yeah,
automation
yeah,
on the back
yeah,
end.
yeah,
I love that.
totally.
I'm telling you, you just blew my mind. I'm geeking out over here. Now I'm like, and I saw your video about connecting the Google Sheets to the
Yeah,
Systeme.io automation. So now I'm like, that makes so much sense.
yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
have a full-blown CRM on Google Sheet using that integration. Like all my paid ads, I have conversion rates, CRM. Like I know my numbers for different. It's incredible what you
Wow.
can do. Like just that one integration that they added a few months ago, I was like, okay. Like my paid ads, that's how I know how to price things sometimes is because I know, okay, I've got one paid ads at the moment and I tell my agency, you got to keep the lead under $2 for this particular funnel because my conversion is X, Y, Z. And I got it all tracked on the Google Sheet with a CRM because of the automations of Systeme.io.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to have you come back on and just talk systems and automations. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah. There'll be so much to share on that.
Oh, yeah. I appreciate all of this. And if anyone is sitting on the edge, hesitating, go check out his YouTube channel. I'm telling you, he'll help you get started from A all the way to Z and beyond. I'm so thankful that we were able to be here today. Thank you for your time and eating up with me in our 12-hour time difference.
Totally. Totally. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. Until next time.
See ya.